I want to talk about the right and the wrong way to use options. And I'm going to give you 3 of my best option trading strategies. Let's get into it. The first thing I want to talk about is using options to hedge against risk and protect your portfolio. That is the number one thing you should be using options to do. So the wrong way to use it is people come in and say, I'm going to use options to make a ton of money, which you can do because it offers leverage. It offers you the ability to control stocks that you don't own. But the real true value in learning how to use options is to hedge against risk and protect your portfolio. So if you have a $10,000 portfolio, $100,000 or $1 million portfolio, you can literally buy insurance. It's called buying a put option. And you can buy insurance and protect your account from falling and even perhaps make money from stocks falling. Now, when people hear that, they're like, I don't get it. How does it work? So let me give you an example of buying a put option to protect your portfolio. So let's just say you own a car, you own a vehicle. Most people are familiar with owning a car, buying a vehicle. And with that vehicle, pretty much in every state is mandatory that you have insurance. And so what is the insurance for? The insurance is for in the event that you get into a car accident, the insurance company is going to pay you out and replace the value of that car. So if you have, let's just say $100,000 Mercedes Benz or Cadillac Escalade, and maybe you're paying $300 a month in insurance, okay? What happens is every 30 days, you owe $300 a month in insurance. And once you pay that bill for 30 days, you have coverage. Well, what does that coverage cover? It covers up to $100,000 of collision, of theft, of a tree falling on that Cadillac Escalade or that Mercedes Benz. And so if you drive that car and you don't get into an accident, then the $300 is just gone. You start over next month, you pay $300 again, right? But what happens if you drive that car on a Saturday night and you get into an accident and you totaled the car? You totaled it, whether someone hit you, a drunk driver, whether you fell asleep at the wheel and hit the wall, you totaled the car. The car is now gone from $100,000 down to $0. What happens is that put option kicks in. You just know it as insurance, but that put option kicks in and you can now take that $100,000 Mercedes or Escalade truck that is now worth $0 and you can put it to the insurance company. You can say, hey, this is your car now. I know it's worthless, but that's why I was paying you $300 a month. And they will cut you a check for $100,000 so you can go and buy a new Mercedes Benz, a new Escalade truck. That is the same way that it works in the stock market. If you have a $100,000 portfolio, $1 million portfolio, you can use put options to buy insurance for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, however long you believe there's a threat. And unlike driving a car, when you go outside, you don't really know if there's a threat around the corner. You don't really know if there's a drunk driver or a kid texting. But in the stock market, you have charts that you can read. You have indicators, economic reports, different things like that that can kind of forecast and tell you if there's a threat on the horizon that may crash your account. And you can have the luxury of buying the insurance during those times where you believe that the market may be turbulent or there's a threat around the corner. And so that's a super powerful way to use options, is buying put options to protect your portfolio. Because if that $100,000 portfolio gets smacked down to $50,000 and gets cut in half, you can enact that put option and force them to pay you the other $50,000, bringing you back up to $100,000, making your account whole. Or like a car, if you total it and it goes from $100,000 to $0, you can put that car to your insurance company and they will have to cut you a check for $100,000. So that is one of the ways you should be using options, which is to hedge against risk. And if you understand how to hedge against risk, I can't understand why anyone would ever call options risky when the whole goal of options is to remove the risk from your trading, from your investing. The second way that you should be using options is to buy stock at a discount. Now, this one just goes over a lot of people's head. This is one of the top strategies we teach inside of our program, is that you can literally negotiate with the market. And most people don't know that. And so what happens is, if Apple is trading at $100 a share, you can literally go in and say, you know what? I'll be willing to buy it at $95 a share. And you can get paid for trying to buy it at 95. So if it's at 100 and you're like, I only buy it if it goes to 95, they will pay you and say, okay, I'll sell it to you if it falls to 95. But if it doesn't fall to 95, you still get to keep the money I paid you. Now, some of you are like, whoa, wait, what did he just say? Let me say it again. If Apple stock is trading at $100, you can negotiate with the market by saying, hey, I'm willing to buy it at 95, and they will pay you and say, okay, here's some money to buy the stock at 95. And if it doesn't get down to 95, you'll never have to buy it. If it does get down to 95, then they'll sell it to you at 95. The key point here is they will pay you to negotiate with them. Okay. And if the stock doesn't get down to that price, you get to keep the money that they paid you to negotiate with them. I know it sounds crazy, but these are some of the strategies of the rich and of the wealthy that normal people don't understand how to use. And that's called a covered put. Now, there's times to do it, times not to do it. There's a right and wrong way to do it. There's, a whole lot of things that go into selecting what stock, what price to do it at. But once you understand the strategy, you can literally negotiate with the market for what you're willing to pay for a stock, and they will pay you to negotiate with them. Crazy, but it's a beautiful thing where you can buy stock literally at a discount. I mean, think about it. If I told you that every time you bought stock, you could buy it at a discount or get paid for trying, wouldn't that remove a lot of the risk, remove a lot of the anxiety, remove a lot of the scariness to investing in the stock market? That is what I'm telling you you can do. We teach that strategy in our Options Explained course. We walk through the whole structure, how to do it, when to do it, and how to manage that. Now, the third way to use options properly, okay, is to treat stocks like a rental property. And you can do that by using options. So if you own at least 100 shares of a company, you can rent your shares out to somebody else. You can say, hey, I'll be willing to sell you my shares at X amount of price. And if it never hits that price, you get to keep that rental income every single month. You can literally treat your stock like rental property by selling call options against it. And that strategy is called a covered call. You're covered because you have the stock and you sold the call option against your stock, saying, hey, if it hits this price, come and get it. Come call it away from me. Come pick it up. But if it doesn't hit that price, I get to keep that rental income money and I get to do it again every single month. All right. That's how you start to receive residual income from the market or passive income from the market, by literally taking something you already own. Could be stocks that were passed down from your parents, your grandparents. Could be stocks that maybe you had in the old 401k at a company that you're no longer at, and you moved it over to a self-directed IRA. There's many different ways that you can do this. But the point is, if you own at least 100 shares of stock, you can literally rent that stock out to somebody else and collect rental income every single month. If these strategies are foreign to you, it's time to tap in and learn how to put options on your side instead of wondering, what can I do with these stocks? What can I do with my portfolio? I met a gentleman at an event we were at, and one thing he said was like, I'm in this group and we buy stock and that's it. But what do you do with it? When do you sell it? And like, what do I do? Like, I just have this stock. And it didn't just hit me to now, like, man, he could literally be renting that stock out and bringing in real income that he can send out and spend, pay on this mortgage, whatever the case may be, pay for a car note, versus just staring at your account go up and down every day and you really get no true value from it unless you are investing for 30, 40 years to retirement. So I want you thinking about this. I gave you 3 ways that you should be using options and the safe way to use them to hedge against risk, to buy stock at a discount, and to collect rental income every single month as if you own rental property. If you don't know how to do that, I want you to consider checking out our Options Explained course so we can break these strategies down, because there's more that goes into them, so you can know when to use it, how to use it, and then how to manage it in case for whatever reason something goes against you. You'll be prepared with the strategies so that you can make it work for you instead of against you. I'll see you on the next episode.